Good afternoon, South Africa. Welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Bonnie Booley. The weekend is upon us, and boy, do we have a magical guest list for you. First up, we're joined by longtime writer and director Regardt van der Bergh. He's here to chat to us about his new film, Uitvlucht. He's also joined by cast member Jill Levenberg. Then we're joined by two representatives from the Cape Town Magic Club, and they're here to demonstrate some of what they can do. We're assuming it's a bit of magic. And then we could take a trip down to Pretoria to see an electric ballroom dance stage show called Burn the Floor. Let's see what Danilo's burning in the kitchen.
Hopefully nothing. Welcome to the weekend. It's Afternoon Express right here on SABC3. My name's Danilo Aquistel. So there is no cheap way to prevent your hair from mincing. We found a really cost-effective way to make mince into a delicious dish. Clem is our chef for today. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Luckily, I don't have the problem. No hair, don't care.
Oh, exactly. No hair, don't care. But in winter, you're going to get a cold call.
Yeah, beanies. Beanie every day.
That could work too. So what are we making?
So we're going to take mince. I've got an issue with people and mince. Not people and mince, just the way the people cook mince.
Yes.
I'm going to show you exactly how to cook it today.
Okay, delicious. So there's some really cool tricks in here. I also see a couple of noodles, so we're going to have lots of fun in the kitchen today. You can find the recipes that we're making on the show, plus those shopping lists, on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Let's kick off the weekend in style.
Regardt van der Bergh is one of South Africa's most seasoned film directors. He's also an award-winning actor and screenwriter. Over the last 4 decades, he's produced iconic TV series and films, including the 1980s SABC drama Feestdag and films like Circles in the Forest and Boetie gaan Border 2, which set Hollywood actor Uitvlucht on the map, and more recently, Faith Like Potatoes. Welcome, Regardt. Lovely to have you in the loft.
It's lovely to be here. Thank you so much.
So you come from a family of entertainers. You are literally surrounded by them. Your mother, your father, your ex-wife, your daughter, and you love to work with them as well.
Yeah, I do.
Is this what sparked the entertainer in you?
I guess so. I grew up in a family of theatre people and a radio those days, and that became my vernacular. I didn't know how to speak any kind of other language.
Yeah.
I would have become a teacher if I had to do something other. I was birthed into the industry.
You probably would have taught film as well if you became a teacher.
Yeah.
Right? You're a long-time writer and director. How has the film landscape changed over the last decade in South Africa?
It's changed tremendously, and for the better. I believe, the fact that we have kind of incentives from the government and from the NWF and the IDC and the DTI and who help us, and CakeNet now with the Afrikaans films.
Yes.
That is absolutely tremendous, and it's giving so many young directors, visionaries, opportunity to tell their stories.
Yes.
And even though there's a myriad of films being made, not all of them are great films, but that's the wonderful sifting process, Rather than having 1 or 2 films and hoping you hit the jackpot, you've got like 10, 20 films being made, even more now. And within that, there should be 1 or 2 or 3 or even more better films.
Yeah.
So we are experiencing new, fresh blood, new vision, new voices that are telling stories, our stories, and that is wonderful.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
You've made some iconic films over the years, and one of them set Uitvlucht on the Hollywood map. Did you always know that he was going to get that big?
I kind of knew that because I think most people who knew Arnold then thought about that because of his attitude towards business. He was highly professional.
Yeah.
He's extremely likable. He was really serious about acting. He would read every book. He would watch every movie. He would talk film. He would talk acting. He would experiment. Interesting little anecdote that people might not know. When we did Circles in the Forest, the scene where Saul gets drunk and the elephant crashes the whole town of Millwood. Arnold decided to do like a method acting thing, and he arrived on set absolutely sozzled. He was drunk, and we decided after that scene, when he did it, chatting together, that he won't do that again.
That he won't do that
again? Yeah, because it didn't work. It's better not to be drunk when you're acting drunk.
When you're acting drunk.
he was really, you can see, he's totally out of it.
Well, as an actress myself, I was actually advised by a director once that if you are playing drunk, try and resist it and don't play drunk. Try and act like you're trying not to look like drunk.
That's a tremendous note.
That's the trick, yeah.
Because same with weeping or crying in a scene. Nobody weeps because they want to weep. everybody weeps because you can't keep it in anymore. So rather try and keep it in and not cry and not go until it bursts out, you know.
Yeah,
and
that's incredible.
Makes it so much more.
Yeah. So one of your most iconic pieces of work was Bergh, and some of the older viewers will remember that. It was a series set in a prison in Pretoria.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's some of your most memorable work, and why?
Absolutely. First of all, number one reason why is my father had a fascination for the criminal mind. We had books, I remember as a young guy, I didn't read, I read some of them later, but he was fascinated by the character and the thought processes that go through a criminal's mind. Like a bit, I don't know if you're familiar with Crime and Punishment, the Raskolnikov story, and how he just suddenly decides on, I'm going to kill that person. And there's going to be good reason for it, and then he does it, and then this whole skuldgevoel, I can't think of the English word now. And so for me, doing Bergh was like living out my father's dream.
Oh, that's incredible.
And it was actually uncanny that I had that as a first time director story to tell, because I had to, and it was real stories, get into the minds of these weird criminals.
Yes.
And we did with the actors. I mean, we sat there ad-libbing and working around the dialogue and workshopped, and it was just, and we had the freedom to do that from those days, SABC. And the guys were just, it was what a wonderful process. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's also why it had such a reality spontaneity about it. The whole thing.
Is that a preferred way of working with actors for you, a collaborative, workshopped space?
Yeah. If the actors aren't really comfortable with the dialogue, I love to stick to the dialogue if they're really comfortable with it. But more important for me is that an actor should be absolutely free in his situation, and it should be like that is real.
Yeah,
you know,
honest.
And it's honest and real, and he's living in that moment.
Yeah. You've had a long and illustrious career in South Africa as a director and writer.
I think I have,
and now you've
thankfully
recently put on a producer hat. What does it actually take to have such a career in this country? With the journey that film has been on.
It's amazing, and I always thought that I would like to get to a point where I can make the choices about the films that I make, about the people who act in them, about the guys who write the stories, about the crew and everything. And I tell you, it was a daunting task for me. I have to admit that I think I would prefer to remain a creative producer rather than one that gets bogged down by all the administration and the budgets and the marketing and the distribution and got to do this and got to do that. That just, I can't wrap my head around that. So I've luckily with this, though I was the producer, I had a co-producer in Advantage, the company, Flocky Gordon, who helped me, and that was very fortunate to have that, because I don't think I would have been able to make it as a producer.
It also would have taken you way longer, right?
So and it would have inhibited my creative process for sure. There's so much work to do. I take my hat off to guys who can do that.
Who can, yeah. Well, you're not going away. When we return, we're going to chat about your film.
Great.
Okay. So after the break, we chat more with Regardt about his latest film, Uitvlucht, along with one of the cast members, Jill Levenberg. And Danilo shows us how to make an Asian-inspired crispy beef. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. So mince is not just mince, and so many people at home always find different ways to create their mince. So today on Afternoon Express, Clem and myself are going to show you how to make the perfect kind of mince, because I've seen friends throw some weird things into mince and then kind of put it into a pasta sauce, and it's just not cool enough. So please show us the correct way to make mince today.
Sure. I'm almost tempted to ask you, what are some of those scary things that you've seen?
Oh my gosh, I've seen people just literally fry up mince into this, like, or boil it, and it becomes this like boiled mixture of mush, and it has no flavor. They haven't seasoned it with anything else. It's got no sort of onions, garlics, nothing in it. It's just flavorless.
Okay, now I've got a saying when it comes to cooking mince. If it's white, it ain't right.
Okay.
If it's grey, walk away. If it's black, it's whack. But when it's brown, chow down.
Okay. Okay, so as little fat as possible. You don't want to have sat in the freezer and got freezer burn and turned some other funky colors. Or sat for too long and gone off.
And
So
you'll
when it's that
notice
nice reddishy color,
There we go.
It's full of the meaty flavors.
You'll also notice I had the mince out before the time to reach room temperature. The principle for cooking mince, cook it like you would a steak. Because that's what it is. It's just ground up steak.
Yes, okay,
So once it hits the pan, what's the one thing we don't do?
You don't stir it.
You don't stir it, you don't touch it. So it's going to form a crust. And that's very important. That's when you don't touch the mince. That only happens if you don't touch it.
Because that's the point. You want to get that sort of real smoky flavor out of the mince too.
And that proper meat flavor that so many people miss when they're cooking mince, because to be honest, they're not cooking it, they're just steaming it. They end up
Exactly.
being grey.
And people think that mince is also meant to be cooked like where you just stir it around. You can grind it up to as small as possible, and it really loses all of its flavor. All the moisture disappears, and it becomes this dry.
Keep it as chunky as you can in the pan. That will have a bit of texture in your mouth when you actually eat it.
Okay.
So the mince is going to get going. It's going to go crispy. No one's touching it. So we're going to start off now. We're going to have some extra flavors in there. We're going to have some cashews.
Ooh,
Because
so
what
we're
we're
going
making
Thai.
today, we're making a crispy mince noodle dish. But we're serving it in lettuce cups.
Ooh, yummy.
So fancy.
Yes, it's all like, sounds interesting. It sounds like one of those dishes you have to make at home because it just looks, it's exactly the same ingredients, just instead of like a wrap, you're using lettuce.
It is. And what I love about this, because we're heading for the weekend, well, basically it's the weekend.
It is the weekend, yeah.
So I serve this dish in separate bowls. So I've got a bowl for the mince, a bowl for the noodles, a bowl for the lettuce.
And people just do their own thing.
Getting around the table, everybody just builds their own.
Now, why, if you also wanted to go for like a sort of carb-free version of this in some ways, you could just not put the noodles in. But that would be a bit of a waste because it's not fun. But you can do that.
Yeah, you could totally leave the noodles out, serve it with an extra sauce maybe a spicy sauce and one little sweet and barbecue-y style sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you were avoiding the noodles, maybe add an extra vegetable. Like, one thing that I'm loving at the moment is raw pumpkin noodles.
Ooh, yummy.
That'll be delicious in this one.
Or like a courgette noodle or something.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like how you're chilling, but I'm going to ask you to pick some mint for me.
Oh, man. Okay.
Remember the last time I asked you to pick mint?
Also, and I messed it up. Yeah.
We even had some response on social media. It was like, how could Dad not know how to pick the mint?
No, it wasn't the mint that we had the issue with last time. It was the fact that I had thyme, and I was cutting the thyme stalks, but not cutting the coriander, the rosemary stalks.
Yeah. So,
Ay.
can I just show you what's happening in the pan quickly?
Yeah.
You see what I mean about the crispiness that's come out of the mince?
Ooh, yummy, yes.
That's exactly what we want. So I'm going to let that go for a little bit longer. What I'm going to do now is start adding the nuts, because I want the nuts to start toasting in the pan as well.
Yeah.
Everything's going to get nice and smoky, nice and delicious.
And obviously cashew is very typical. It's like the penultimate Thai sort of addition.
But to be honest, peanuts would work just as well.
Okay, cool.
And especially because peanuts are a lot cheaper. I mean, if you're watching the budget.
Cool, so we're kind of trying to create a cost-effective way to cook delicious mince.
It is. And mince in itself is an inexpensive ingredient. It is. So I love cooking with mince. I mean, what's a bolognese without mince? Hamburgers, making your own burger patties. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm going to actually cook some of the mint. Something I don't always do, but that's going to create a flavor. At the end, we're going to add fresh mint,
Yeah.
just like
Just
a
another
level of
fresh
like
flavors.
freshness. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now
Ooh,
it's
yum.
smelling good already in the
Oh,
kitchen.
so good.
So get some ginger and some garlic goes
Cool,
in there.
delish.
That's going to create some amazing aromatic flavor and some chili.
Yes.
I would go for more, but we're being a bit gentle today. And again, just toss that through. So we're going to give the garlic and the ginger about a minute to cook through. That's just to take that pungency out of the ingredients. Ooh, chili.
Delicious.
Oh, so what I've got is some fish sauce. It's really tangy, but use it as a seasoning to balance out all the other flavors in there. Don't worry, you don't get that
I feel
flavor
like I'm
in
at the
there.
ocean. I feel like I can smell the rest of the sea creatures.
And then I'm going to go with some sweet sticky soy sauce. You could just use normal soy sauce and about a tablespoon of sugar. And that just brings all the flavors together. So we've got that sharp saltiness from the
Fish sauce?
fish sauce. Yay. And like the sweet umami flavor of the soy sauce.
Cool.
Give it a puff. Yes, can you feel that chili?
I can feel like I'm a real man. I'm growing chest hairs as we speak. Okay, yeah.
And this is the final ingredient, some lime. Just to add that acidity. I'm not adding any salt to it because we've got a bit of that soy and a bit of the fish sauce.
Yes.
And that's all we need.
Oh, delicious.
So that's done.
So that's
Part
the filling.
one. Now, when we come back, we're going to assemble the whole thing together.
Delicious. I can't wait to show you guys how this all works right here on Afternoon Express. If you want to get the recipe for how to make the perfect kind of mince for this dish specifically, go to our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. There you can also get the shopping list to know exactly which ingredients you need to buy to make this delicious recipe. Over to you, Bonnie.
Uitvlucht is the story of a teacher who, through an error in judgment, loses everything that matters to her in life. And in her heartache, she finds a job at a farm school called Uitvlucht in the Eastern Cape. Besides her own drama, she must now also deal with the social issues threatening the well-being of the kids, and her heartwarming journey unfolds. We're back with co-writer and director Regardt van der Bergh and supporting actress Jill Levenberg. Welcome, Jill. Lovely to have you with us.
Wonderful being here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Regardt, your later work has become very inspirational, and this sounds like one such film.
Yeah.
What brought that on?
I like true stories. I think true stories are irrefutable, so so much more to tell them. You know, I think with Uitvlucht, the reality of Clara and I falling in love was such a journey for me as an older guy falling in love. I mean, it's really difficult. It's not like teenagers falling in love.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to start, I had to learn to fry again, for instance.
Yeah. Do you think you've become better at it compared to when you were younger?
You know, interesting question.
Yeah.
It's not an easy
What does
question
Clara
to answer
think?
because I thought I had no baggage. And I discovered, I had a load of baggage. I had a mountain on my shoulders. And Clara it was really difficult for her to commit. And I think in the movie we explore that as a relationship, how difficult it is to commit because it should be unconditional.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how a relationship should be. So are we going to get to that point or not? And I found that so interesting to tell that story. And I believe we achieved that. And that to me is the most satisfying part of the film, is that journey for me works.
Wow.
And there's a lot of humor and a lot of love in it. And especially with these kids, when you see these children, you will not believe what they do in terms of performance. They are absolutely amazing. They are amazing. They are brilliant.
I mean, Uitvlucht is a real community. How did your connection to that place begin, and what sparked it?
Clara was a teacher there. So she was a teacher, and that was her Uitvlucht, her flight out of her situation. And then she just had a concern for the kids and the way they were educated and the struggling school system, you know. I mean, now we had 2 weeks ago they burnt down 17 schools, or was it a week ago? You know, so it really is a struggle. So she saw that in these kids, and she started building into their lives and into the community's lives. And this reciprocation of love and concern was the thing that was so attractive for me, and such a good reason to tell the story.
Yes, yes. So, Jill, tell us about your character, San.
San is a teacher at Uitvlucht Primary. She's very close to the school principal, Hetta. Hetta's a mother figure at the school. And San is obviously considerably younger than Hetta. And so I think she's really happy when Clara's character, Anna, kind of joins, you know, the school, because she's kind of curious. You know, this is a new friendship for her, and this is some new blood, you know, around there. And and she's also got a very big heart for the kids. San comes from the same community. She's an example of someone who's from that area and who has gone off and made something from her life and has come to plow back into the community, which is so important.
Exactly.
I mean, these schools are so under-resourced. You know, the film is set almost forgotten. The school is set in the 90s, and we filmed there, was it a year ago or a year and a half ago? And some of the issues are still the same that they faced back then.
To this day.
To this day.
Yeah.
I mean, rural schools, farms, so the issues, the plight of these schools. And, you know, but San doesn't let that get her down. You know, the fact that there are not proper ablution facilities, or the fact that it's a daily struggle. She's there for the kids. She's there to make a difference.
Yes.
And she loves these kids.
No, she does. And
she loves
awakens
these kids.
a resilience in these kids as well.
Yes.
Incredible.
And the fact
she
that
is
there's
the hope.
I mean,
the fact that there's hope to make
hope
something.
is clearly one of the themes in the film.
Yeah.
What other themes in the film stand out for you or have personal resonance for you?
Can I just say,
Sure.
you know, definitely forgiveness. I think that, you know, we struggle with forgiveness, but mostly, more often than not, we struggle to forgive ourselves.
Wow.
Sometimes we've
Absolutely.
made such huge mistakes, or we've got such huge issues, and we struggle. We prevent healing for ourselves and those around us because we just can't get past forgiving ourselves.
Yeah.
And so that for me definitely resonates strongly in the film. And reconciliation and second chances. Definitely second chances.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's the building. I mean, Marvin Lee Bergh, the
Yes.
young actor, he has the most important speech, little bit in the film when they I don't want to say what happens,
Yeah.
but
Wonderful
and
actor.
and
Wonderful actor.
he has a thing where he just says, yes, so guys, let's just stop breaking down and
Yeah.
killing one another. Let's just start building.
Start to
and,
build.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it just resonates when he says it at the time in the film.
Yeah.
And if
It
I
really
could,
strikes home.
Yeah, sorry, Regardt, but if I could add to that, there's just a quote that popped into my mind before I forget it. You know, I don't remember who the person is that wrote the quote, but it says, when we judge someone, we have no time to love them.
Of course.
And that stayed with me, and that was also present in my mind throughout the filming of this beautiful piece.
Yeah.
You know, because we're so ready to judge, we're so ready to make assumptions, and we're so busy judging a lot of the time. You know, if we could just remove that and kind
love
of
first.
concentrate on peace,
Love first.
concentrate
Yeah.
on love. you
Yeah.
know?
That is for me the main theme of it. And
Yeah.
teaching is one of the greatest forms of love.
And transformation,
teach,
yeah.
because-
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Mandela said. Mandela said education is the strongest weapon to change the world. It is the strongest weapon. And you see that in these kids in real life.
Oh.
Yeah.
The love that they receive, how that just changes their attitude, their mentality, their take on life, their hope, their aspirations.
yeah.
Suddenly, you know, like she is the symbol of, they look up at a teacher and say, I can become that.
I can, yes, yes.
You know?
Yeah.
The one little kid asks the teacher, teacher, what am I going to become one day? And she says to her, you are so clever. You're going to become the president. And you know, I
Isn't
think
that
it's such a good
beautiful?
line of
Yeah,
dialogue
it
because it
is.
could awaken that in a child that never thought of it.
Awakens
Yeah.
that possibility.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a beautiful story, but equally beautiful is where it was shot, the Eastern
Yeah.
Cape.
Yes.
What was that experience like? How did it lend itself to filming and the whole story?
It is absolutely, it's called the
Breathtaking.
Zuurveldenaar. It is breathtaking. It is
landscape.
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
The film, though, we had challenges weather-wise because,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, Jill.
Wind.
The,
wind.
was
I was
it
like, I
windy?
thought Cape Town is
You
bad.
thought Cape Town
What's
was
happening here?
The wind and the rain.
The
but
rain, yeah.
all that, you know, the
Did
fact that
you end up using some of that in the film where you hadn't necessarily
not
thought
dramatically,
you would? Okay.
but
Yeah.
visually we did, because the lighting when it's cloudy is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the kind of light that you want to shoot a film in.
And Regardt, remember the day that we had the beach scene? That was the coldest day.
It was the coldest day. We nearly blew away.
Yeah, we were like, there's one picture of me from
man.
the, you know, stills and stuff. I'm standing with these kids and we've got this they're all huddled in this one sleeping bag. You know, we look like one big worm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it
we
is
had
crazy.
challenges, but
Yeah.
it doesn't take away from the beauty that
Yeah.
that we shot.
Yes.
It was really. It was really great to exploit that a little bit
Yeah.
and show that in the film.
One last question, I think because we've run out of time now. I'd love to chat on and on. Who do you want to go and see this film? What can they expect?
I think everyone should, because there are so many universal themes, and the fact that it's based on a true story. You know, there are so many themes within the film
Yeah.
that can resonate with so many people on so many different levels.
I think everybody should go and see it also
Yeah.
for the humor and the
Yeah.
love
Yes.
and you know it's not a pretentious film.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much both for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you for
Thanks
having
for
Can't
us.
wait to see the film.
It's been wonderful to meet you.
Now make sure you go and support South African film and catch Uitvlucht, which opens in cinemas today.
Sure, man. We've got so much talent in our country. Make sure you guys go and check out the film as soon as possible. Also, make sure you catch the 3rd season of Winner Home right here on Afternoon Express. Follow our 3 young designers every weekday from the 16th of May as they turn 3 empty apartments into dream homes with expert color advice from Plascon to create on-trend living spaces and luxurious Cecil Stone services, all at the award-winning Valdevie Estate, conveniently located in the Cape Winelands. Enter the grand prize competition on privateproperty.co.za and you, the viewer, stand a chance to win one of the completed apartments. Winner Home is proudly brought to you by Private Property in proud association with Nedbank. Now, after the break, we're joined by some magicians from a brand new Cape Town Magic Club. We'll be right back after this.
Express yourself.
And poof, welcome back to Afternoon Express. The Cape Town Magic Club recently opened its doors in the historical Herbert Baker Building in Cape Town. It is part of a worldwide Monday night magic network from New York and London. We're joined by the owner and seasoned magician Marcel Oudejeans and one of the young stars of South African magic, Mawonga Gayiya. Good to have both of you with us. I've interviewed both of you before and chatted to both of you before. It's so exciting to have you back in the loft.
So glad to be here.
You've been practicing magic since you were 10, Mawonga.
Yes,
What
yes.
drew you to it at such a young age?
I grew up in a household of 3 people. It was myself, my brother, and of course Konzekile and my mother. Konzekile at that time, he was the magician in the family. So whenever he would show me tricks, and he would always sometimes just put the tricks on top of my bed where I'd want to go figure them out how they work. So sometimes when he was out of the room, I'd quickly sneak into his briefcase and try and figure out how all the illusions work. Sometimes I'd even mess up most of these illusions. So my mother was like, no, this is enough. You got to go to the College of Magic, and the journey started then.
Oh, my word. I would have thought that you were trying to say that you started at a very young age because you want to make your brother disappear, but obviously that didn't work out very well.
Everyone wanted their sibling to disappear.
But you also, not only from then, have now represented South Africa overseas too. Please tell us about that journey. Congratulations.
Yes. My first breakthrough was traveling to Las Vegas to the World Magic Seminars, and after that I got to do the Shanghai International Youth Internationals, which was also fun, seeing some of the best magicians in the world and just being in that atmosphere and getting to experience other people, different cultures at the same time, different magic from different parts of the world. It was mind-blowing.
Oh man, must have been...
Do you know what? A question I've always wanted to ask magicians, is magic magic? Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah, sure.
Is there magic really going on, or
It's
is
illusion.
this illusion and manipulation? And can you explain that?
Sure. There's a difference between magic, the craft of, and magic, the experience of. So say, for example, if you watch a fireworks show, there's some moments where it just becomes so amazing and inspiring that you have a sensation of magic even though you know how it works. And as magicians, that's what we're trying to replicate consistently. All right? So as opposed to making random moments of magic happen, magicians learn how to use illusion, sleight of hand, misdirection, all those tools that we use that you're not supposed to know about until you have that moment of magic, that experience of like, wow, how's that done? So
That's the best explanation I've heard.
Yeah, I think it's the first time I've actually ever heard a magician say that. Because a lot of magicians go, no, it is real magic, don't ask the silly questions. Kind of thing. Why the School of Magic, and why has it done so well in Cape Town? It's been incredible to see it grow as it's happened, and a lot of people have come from communities, particularly. Why do you have so much of a drive towards the communities of South Africa?
Well, look, I can speak from a different perspective because I never went to the College of Magic. So I grew up in the one city in the world that actually had a school for magic and did not
Didn't
go.
Yeah.
Growing up in that experience where there's lots of young students that had the training and I didn't, I could see the difference between what that experience is like. Look, Cape Town's got this phenomenal institution that allows youngsters to learn the skill, like Mawonga and several other performers that we have at the Cape Town Magic Club. And it's about that educational support, learning how to rehearse, practice, present yourself, learning a skill, the community and the support around it, having directors and mentors. Those things are very important, and that allows young magicians to grow up with some form of experience. As someone who didn't have that, I had to go and find those resources myself to make that happen. So within Cape Town, whether you're a college student or not, the amount of magic that's available right here is like nowhere else in the world. It really is something that Cape Townians can be very proud of. And it helps us as the Magic Club, of course, because we're able to find young talent and resources to come and put them onto the big stage like Mawonga and say, listen, come and show the greater public at a regular show the type of talent that we have in South Africa.
Wow. So, Mawonga, you are part of the staff at the Magic College, right?
Yes.
School, the College of Magic. But you also teach underprivileged children in communities under risk. How do the children take it in, and what does it do to their lives when they're introduced to magic?
Man, I've seen the change in my life. I remember at the early age of 9, 10, before I was even at the College of Magic, the confidence of just being able and just introduce myself to a stranger or to more than 10 people, I couldn't do that. Until I went to the College of Magic, that's where my confidence was broken. I was able to travel internationally alone, able to communicate very well, and getting as well, most of all, doing all of that through the art of magic and, just becoming a better person. I think magic has made a great change in my life, and I've seen magic doing it, a lot of change in many young kids.
Let's speak a bit about what you guys are doing on those Monday nights. Let's talk about those shows.
So Monday Night Magic is a concept that a friend of mine started in London about 20 years ago. as a way to just have a bunch of magicians do a show on a Monday night just to keep them busy working. That idea then transferred to New York a few years later, and then that very same friend, John Lenehan, came about 6 years ago to Cape Town for a comedy festival. And I met up with him, we had a couple of drinks, and I said, listen, we don't have a space in Cape Town to do magic regularly. And he said, well, make one.
Yeah,
I was like, well, what are you talking about? He's like, well, this is what we did. In London, on Monday nights, we'd find a venue, put on a show. And I let that idea percolate for a while, and then about a year and a bit ago, I found this perfect venue that we're in now at the moment at the Cape Town Club. And once you walk into the building, and it's marble floors and wooden staircases and chandeliers, but then you walk downstairs through a bookcase area into this private bar with this private theatre that we then built up. So about 2 months ago, I got permission to start building the theatre inside of that space.
Oh, cool.
And it's really, like, it's a 40-seater, so it doesn't matter where you sit, you're pretty much in the front row. And then I've got some of my very good friends to come and perform for this first season, and you see some of the very best magic, like, right in front of your eyes. And since this is the first time in Africa that we have a dedicated magic theatre, so we're doing something that's quite groundbreaking. And since we have the talent in this country, it just made sense to go ahead and put this together. So we only do Monday nights at the moment.
Oh, wow.
I'd love to see some of the tricks. Do you have anything that you can show us on TV today?
I'll show you one of the first things.
Show us what you got.
Okay, I'll show you one of the first things I learned, because I've been doing magic since I was about 9 years old, and
He trumped you by a year, just by the way. He's just pulling rank.
Just a little bit. And and as a young performer, you first have to practice out in your family. So I went to a family braai. Everybody's sitting on plastic chairs and eating meat. There must have been about 10, 15 people, and I came out with my big cards and my tiny hands, and I said to them, look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playing cards. And if I take away one of those playing cards and I get rid of it and I snap my fingers, then there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playing cards. And everybody went, wow, that's amazing.
It is amazing.
But wait,
A bit more enthusiasm than that.
Oh,
but
my
no,
word,
save it up,
that's
save
so
it up.
amazing.
I'll give you another turn, okay? I was about 6 years old performing a magic show at a family braai. Everybody was sitting on plastic chairs and eating meat. There must have been about 30, 40 people. I came out with my biggish cards and my small hands, and I said to everybody, look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playing cards. And if I take away 1, 2 playing cards and I snap my fingers, then there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playing cards. And everybody went, wow,
that's amazing.
Pretty good. Okay, all right. I'll give you one more chance, okay? I'm going to blow the roof off the loft, okay? So I was about 3 years old performing a magic show for about 200-300 people. Everybody was sitting on meat and eating plastic chairs. I came out with my biggish cards, my small hands, and my enormous head, and I said to everybody, look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playing cards. And if I take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 playing cards, and there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playing cards, and everybody went, wow, that's amazing!
Absolutely incredible. How did you do that?
Very well.
I was staring so hard. I was like, I'm going to find it. I'm going to figure out what he's doing.
I stunned you into silence.
Oh,
That was great.
Okay, nice. Original.
Now
nice.
you have an idea of what that experience is like when you're sitting up close in a theatre of that kind of magic. So.
Yeah.
Well, after the break, we're back with more magic when Mawonga will be giving us an exclusive demonstration of his special talent. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, we're speaking all things magic, and our guests are in the loft with us today. We first had Marcel, whose surname is kind of like those jeans that you need to throw away. Oudejeans is how you pronounce it, but it's spelled like those jeans once they've got a whole Oudejeans, you see. So we're also joined by Mawonga, but now, dude, if you start a website, it's going to be mawonga.com. Do you give away, like, loans? Or...
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't do loans. I don't do loans. I prefer Mawonga, you know.
Okay. So, Mawonga, you've also got some tricks to show us today.
Yes. Actually, magic. It's magic. Let me show you. It uses a pair of scissors. Man, you want to check it out? Make sure it doesn't have any...
Do we ever trust Bonnie with scissors?
Yes. Bonnie, do you want to check them out? So you want to check out the rope?
They work, yeah.
I'll stand for this one. Make sure they don't have any trapdoors, mirrors, rabbits, or anything like that. Just
no, okay, it's legit rope.
Are you happy with the scissors, Bonnie? Maybe you want to cut a piece of yours?
No, it's fine.
I'll show you something very cool. It's a rope. Uses, like I said, this was the first trick that my brother actually taught me how it worked. That's actually, it fools me. I don't know how it works. In fact, I'll show you today. It uses the scissors. Can I borrow the scissors from you just to show that the scissors do cut? I'll actually just hold the ends.
Yes.
I'll just cut the ends off the rope like that.
Okay, they work.
And of course, as you can see, the illusion would start off, if I could just put this back in there, starts off with the rope at the beginning, a middle, and an end. Bonnie, it's very simple. I bring the middle of the rope using the scissors, I'll cut right through into 2 equal pieces. Are you ready?
Yes.
Actually, I'll just drop the scissors right here into 2 equal pieces. Sorry, it's not
Semi-equal.
Semi-equal. It's not a problem. You know, in cases like this, I like might as well just start over. Thank you for the silence of applause.
No way. It's a way.
What just happened?
I'll show you something very cool. It's actually my favorite part of the thing is actually, Bonnie, I want you to take a deep breath, and blow. Perfect. It just goes on like a circle of love. It just goes, yeah. I remember I also forgot to clap when I saw this. It's not, oh, thank you, you're so kind. This is great. I'll show you something very cool, Bonnie. I'll actually hang the ends, as you can see them, right in front of your
Yes, I see them.
eyes as they melt back.
No ways. That's so weird.
No, my favorite part of the illusion is actually when I take the ends, you can actually see the ends of the rope. I'll put them inside the pocket.
Yeah.
And I'll take the middle of the rope and I'll put it inside the other pocket. I'll make the ends jump from one pocket to the other pocket. Are you ready, Bonnie?
Yes.
I'm ready.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it happen.
Yeah. Before you even give me a standing ovation, my favorite part is when I make the ends fly back. Watch that part. Watch. Believe it or not, yes, the ends indeed are back. Yay.
But that's obvious.
I can sense a disbelief from your eyes. Not a problem. We'll take the ends.
That went right over my head.
Look,
Exactly. I think
Flew right over my
yeah,
head.
literally, that's where the ends went.
So put them one more time back.
Yeah.
Watch.
I wanna
The
see
other
them come up
side.
there.
Wow.
No ways.
Okay, that's amazing. You deserve a standing ovation.
No, not yet.
Oh, there's still more. There's still more.
But there's more. There's actually, you could do something much
Where's
better
the popcorn?
than... I know, Barney would be like, Mawonga, but I got to check just the scissors. I didn't check if they're really cut. In fact, I'll give you the scissors.
Okay,
I want
do you
you
want
to
me
cut
to cut?
right through
Yes.
here. But remember one thing, the brown part, Barney, is my fingers. You don't want to cut that.
No.
Okay,
And remember last time you thought you cut it and then it like did something else?
Yeah.
I like Kepley, does it? Perfect, great. Now, Barney has just cut the rope into 2 equal
Again, Bonnie.
Homeschooling, Barney?
Oh.
Just kidding.
We
Barney.
just did a show on
There you go.
homeschooling, so
There you go,
watch
Bonnie.
it.
There you go, Bonnie. I want you to actually tie the ends.
Okay.
In fact, I'll just do it like that for you. And you could just pull the ends nice and tight. No, right these ends that we've just tied. Nice and strong. Are you ready? Look, Bonnie, you ready?
I'm ready.
How did that
Click.
happen?
This is the magic.
No way.
I know.
Okay, this is
Actually,
incredible.
sharing a room with my brother was fun. I learned a lot of things. He was clever about leaving the illusions on my table.
Yes.
So he wanted me to actually figure out how the tricks work.
Did your brother still do magic?
Yes, my brother still does a little bit of magic every now and then. Him as my older brother, and of course, me as his little brother, knew if I had magic in my life.
But he knew that he would rope you into magic eventually.
Yes, we could become equal, but most of all, he knew that if I could just do magic in my life, I
Right,
just...
what's going on? How are you doing? Can you just talking us through this and it's just...
There you go, and that's the right.
It is magic.
The
Magic is magic.
Guys, that is insane. That deserves a real big round of applause.
That was amazing, guys.
Although I don't know if I want to...
Yes, that's a little bit
I
of
don't know what's going on in those hands of yours.
Now, from magic to dance, if you're in Pretoria, the South African State Theatre is currently showing Burn the Floor, an Australian-born ballroom dance theatre production. It's been dubbed as the ultimate high-voltage theatrical experience, and we went to go check it out. Let's see.
Our show is actually 17 years old, and we started in 1997 at Elton John's birthday as just a little presentation of ballroom dancing. And our producer, Harley Metcalf, said the room just stood still. And for him, for people that had seen everything, suddenly he said, I'm onto something. And that was the birth of Burn the Floor.
Burn the Floor is a ballroom and Latin show, but it's stripped down completely. I love the fact that Peter Roby has introduced other elements and genres of dance. So we do contemporary, we do lyrical, we do rock, we do jazz and modern fused with ballroom and Latin. So it's just been incredible.
In the beginning, we open up with the traditional kind of waltz, Viennese waltz, and you'll see lots of numbers have the cha-cha and the jive and the tango. So it's literally a ballroom and Latin show that you will see with a little bit of twist.
We infuse a lot of rock aspects into a theatrical product. So it's really taking ballroom dancing to a very different level. Everything from the costuming to the energy and the flair of the actual performers on stage. And that includes the vocalists and the musicians.
The rock element has been introduced to the show through music and clever choreography. So, I mean, the music, we led by Led Zeppelin, there were Christina Aguilera's in the show. I mean, it's a variety of things, but we like that. We like the rock element to the show.
Two South African dancers are magnificent in the company. Miss Kylie Brown, she's just a gorgeous dancer, gorgeous person, and great personality on stage.
I think being a part of such an international cast, you get to learn about different cultures, and I'm so proud to be able to be a South African to show that what we can do, and that we can also do what the rest of the world can do. So I guess it's a lot to do with pride.
Johannes Radube, he's a beautiful dancer, a very elegant, tall man that gives me tingles when I watch him.
Working with Peter has been incredible. She allows dancers to bring themselves to the show, and that is one thing that a dancer could ever ask for, walking into a company and having to dance somebody else's choreography. It's just nice when they allow you to be. So it's just been a learning curve. She's a world champ, so one has learned so much from her. I learn every day, every time she opens her mouth and she does something. So I'm like, okay, fine, Johnny, you need to take this back to your country.
The difference between Strictly and Burn the Floor is that Strictly is purely a professional teaching a celebrity what we do and what we've trained for all our lives, whereas we are all professionals and we're here to entertain and, make the people and the audience feel what we feel.
This is a lot harder because I'm required to be there all the time and know exactly what I'm doing, whereas with a celebrity, you can make something and look like something. Anything small you do, you look good. But when you're surrounded with an international cast who know what they're doing, it's a bit tough. It was intimidating at first, but I mean, with lots of hard work, one persevered.
I think Burn the Floor is such a real show, so the thing that they'll experience is a connection between the people on stage. We want to bring them into the show instead of performing out to them. We want them to feel what we feel on stage, and I think that's the most important thing that separates Burn the Floor from any other production.
You have to see it because I believe that it's a ballroom and Latin extravaganza.
If you love dance, you will definitely love the show. If you like to go to the theatre, there's not a story through the whole show, but you'll find there's a thread that you can follow within dance, and dance needs no words. So it's a special product, and the dancers that are selected in the company are wonderful performers and artists, and so in love with the ability to present ballroom dancing. So I think there's really something for everyone.
I said to my mom, I said, you need to bring the nephews. You need to bring my sisters and my aunts and my uncles and everybody to come out because it's just a heartwarming show.
Burn the Floor runs at the South African State Theatre until Sunday, the 15th of May. It then moves to Cape Town and will be showing at the Baxter from Tuesday, the 19th of May. Head over to afternoonexpress.co.za if you want any more information on tickets. After the break, we put on the final touches on our crispy beef lettuce wraps. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, once you finish cooking tonight's dinner that we're making for you on Afternoon Express, remember to catch Parcella this evening at 7:30 on SABC2. This week, the team goes for a surf in the famous beach town of Jeffreys Bay. Sean Marco takes on the waves of EP Kings rugby players Jacques Engelbrecht and JP du Plessis. We can also see more from where Uitvlucht was filmed. And our guest today, Regardt van der Bergh, and his wife, actress Clara Joubert, showed us the school where the film was shot. Singer Cordelia goes sandboarding with Linnell, and Sean Marco learns the art of hand planes in J Bay waters. All of this tonight on Parcella at 7:30 on SABC2. But make sure you guys only tune into the show once you finish cooking your delicious dinner. So we've shown everyone how to do the perfect mince on the show today. All we need to do is kind of assemble and make it look delicious and taste delicious.
That's right. And for that, I'm going to need you to take the lettuce leaves off that we're going to use as a cup.
Okay.
You can start doing that. You put it down on our plate. I'm going to finish off some of the toppings, which I've got some spring onion that are thinly sliced. And some of your favorite coriander.
Coriander, yay. It's starting to become one of my favorite. I'm actually going to stop mentioning it at all. We should stop talking about it on
Yeah, you
the
shouldn't
show.
tell me what you don't like, because I'm going to make it my mission to make you like it.
Oh, these lettuce leaves are really cool. What kind of lettuce is this?
That's cos.
Is this cos? Just normal cos lettuce?
Do you like it?
I like it because it's shaped cool. I don't know if it's
And it
very
makes a perfect
nutritional.
cup. Makes a perfect cup. That's what it's about. So what I've got is some rice noodles over here.
Okay, which you've left in soaking water, I hope, because the rice noodles I have are not cooked.
Why don't you cook them? What do you mean?
No, mine are the ones that I buy in a little packet are not cooked at home.
Okay, well, you cook it in
Yes.
boiling water, right?
Yes.
Let it sit, becomes nice and tender, manageable. What you're gonna do is put it in your cup. So
Yummy.
I'm gonna ask you to continue doing that.
Cool.
You fine doing that? Cool. I'm gonna start thinly slicing some chili, because I know we used some chili earlier. You like the chili, right? You're not
I
scared
like
of
a burn. I like a good burn.
It's extremely high in vitamin C. Like, I'm looking out for everybody.
It's a winter season. Can you
Cool.
hear from my voice that I'm starting to get one of those, but not
So
yet?
I'll keep this one for you, right?
Yes.
This is just for you. I'll put it right over there.
Of
Cool.
course, Clem.
So some mint. I'll start with the mint quickly. You're doing a very good job.
Thanks.
Keeping everything
Not
neat
that
and
you've given me
tidy.
something very hard to do. It's like,
know-
please do the most simple job ever. Don't stuff it up. I get the way your
Well,
head
for
and your
what you
brain
are
works.
doing, you're doing it very well.
Thank you. Cool.
So then, next step is our mince.
Cool.
We've got over here.
Which you've made for
This is what I
us.
mean by all crispy and brown and delicious.
So yummy. Let me put this inside the wrap.
No, that's the way you're supposed to cook it. So it goes crispy. It's in portions, like we said. It's not just broken up into fine little like rice-sized pieces of mince.
Yeah.
It's got to have some texture to it.
Okay, cool.
And that's exactly why we fried it the way we did. Even bolognese, cook it this way, you'll get so much more flavor in your bolognese.
Totally. Oh, I can smell the ginger from this thing. It's so delicious. My word. I love it when you cook Thai food on the show because it's one of my favorite cuisines and I never really have the time at home to go and play with all those ingredients. Because Thai food has got so many different flavors involved with it.
But actually, in saying that, it's actually the easiest cuisine to cook.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're being really like sparing with the mince.
I know, dude. Well, you put so much like noodles in the ones. I'm just copying you. So there's no space for anything else.
Just pack it all on there. You know it's going to get messy, but it's the weekend.
Okay, cool.
We can wash down later.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to start sprinkling over the spring onion.
Cool.
You see there? I'm not even aiming.
I don't even know what's going on
Someone's
anymore.
gonna
This
get
looks like a
some,
salad
someone's
now.
not.
You might as well just make us a mince salad. Hey!
Let's do that.
It looks delicious though. I could totally eat this with my hands. I want to see if all of our guests are going to have the guts enough on the show today to eat this with their
They
hands.
should. They really should. Some extra
Okay.
chili. What do you think? How's it looking?
It looks absolutely divine. I think it looks amazing, smells delicious, and it's simple enough to make fresh, light, funny in its essence.
How's it funny?
Because of the way you made your mince. It's just because you got a good laugh about it. You guys can find the recipe on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. There you can also find the shopping list to get all the ingredients you need to know to make this delicious food. I'm going to go take this to the table. How about it?
Cool.
Yummy.
And I served it with the sweet chili sauce just to make it all yummy.
Cool.
And last ingredient was some sesame seeds.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. Over to you, Bon.
Thank you so much to all our guests for joining us today. I'll tell you a really good food trick that Danilo does. Clem makes all the food and then he says he made it.
Hey, I contributed to something here today. I contributed. I promise you, this is one of those dishes that you're all going to look at and go like, but this is going to look really messy on television. We don't mind. Just do it.
Okay, cool.
As long as they don't make it disappear.
Ah, exactly. Well, then you better serve yourself fast. You better serve yourself really, really fast. Guys, what an inspiring show. I really love supporting the arts in our country. We've got so much
thank
talent
you.
going on
Yeah.
here, and it's really exciting to see the business models also coming through. Everyone's just doing such amazing work. So thanks for joining us on Afternoon Express.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful.
Buon appetito.
Bon appetito.
Looks
No,
lovely.
take yourself, take yourself. Don't forget to catch Uitvlucht. It's out today, so make sure you guys head over to cinemas, book your tickets as fast as you
Do you wanna get the
can,
rest
stock
of
up
it?
on that popcorn, enjoy it, support local music, well, local film, local music. eh?
Local
Imagine,
film
local
and
film.
local magic.
We'll see you next week, same time, same place, right on
your
Afternoon
weekend.
Express. Good night, happy eating. Yummy.
Thank you.
Wow, that's good.
Next week on Afternoon Express, renowned actor Toby Krunier joins us in the loft. We chat to two South African teens chosen for the NASA space program, and we catch up with comedian Mark Banks.
Another feel-good production.
Hi YouTubers, thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to us. Join the Afternoon Express family by subscribing to our channel right here. And we'll keep you up to date with all our recipes and of course our fabulous episodes. Also, feel free to leave a comment and share this video. We do love it when you express yourself.